I think the first key thing is to understand why you need to be active, right? It is not only about losing weight. When you exercise, when you work out, our bodies are meant to move. For example, a cheetah is meant to sprint, a sloth is not, right? We are meant to move. That is why we're built the way we are. And the more you move, the more your blood circulates, your hormones correct themselves. There are a number of things that happen across the body that make you healthier and fitter.
We want to stay healthy. We want to stick to our health goals. We work very, very hard to get there. We want to work out at home. We want to feed nourishing meals to our children. How are we going to do that? Joining me today is Simrun Chopra. We all know her from Instagram. She's fit, she's fabulous. She's had a journey which all of you will vie for, right? From fat to fit and to now fabulous. Simran, that's how I would describe you.
Thank you so much, Mansi. And it's so nice of you to have me here. And I think together we should do something that can really make a difference to everyone watching this. And that is the objective of this. I am a lifestyle and transformation coach, and I write a lot on Instagram. But I think right now people want things that are more actionable, and let's do that together. We can probably start with the problems that people are facing, and then we'll address each of them one at a time.
Simran, exactly, because I'm a mom and I know you're a mom as well. We're both working, we're both running our businesses. So, we know that we're really stretched for bandwidth, and we know all our readers, just like you, are extremely stretched for bandwidth.
So, the thing with creating a meal plan is one, when you know I have only this much supply, then you know how to use it if you write it down. So, you write down every single meal from Monday to the next Monday. Breakfast if on waking, if let's say you all drink tea on waking or whatever, then if you do breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch, evening, dinner, you write all these down. And then when you write it down, you get more ideas. One, you know exactly how much to prepare before, how much time you need, what resources you need. And like she said, snacks is something everyone struggles with. So some of the great ones that you can do are, if you have makhana at home, I don't recommend buying the packet ones because they have too much sodium, too much salt, too much flavoring in them. Just plain makhana at home. If you have the sukha hua corn kernels, which you get the sukha corn, if you have that at home, you can make variety of popcorns. You can make lots of different flavors of makhana. If you have khakra at home, you can just eat one khakra, right, with a cup of tea. Otherwise, if you have onion tomato, instead of doing a papad, a masala papad, you can do masala khakra if you want to, right? If you have fruits, that's a great option, but you might not at the moment. Nuts have to be a very small amount, but even dahi is a great option, especially if you have kids. Dahi is a great option. A glass of milk is a great option if you are someone who can drink milk. So there are many things that you can look at, but just grabbing whatever you see is a terrible idea. Because right now, the one thing that we know is that good health is the one parameter that you require to stay safest, right? And you want that for yourself, you want that for your children, you want that for your parents, you want that for everyone. So right now, all you need to do is nourish your body. Give it what it needs to function at optimal and its best. And it functions the best when you use real food. Okay, so that means nothing that comes, not something that is not highly processed. So if you're doing nuts, have plain nuts at home. Take mungfali and roast it and have, which is fine, instead of a packet of salted nuts or caramel nuts or wasabi nuts. You don't want that. It has too much processed stuff in it. It takes away all the goodness of the actual nuts, right? Stick to the basics, and the snack time can be a really fun time as well, especially if you have kids. Even like a date is great. These are things that don't spoil if you have them in your fridge. If you have nut butters, even a slice of bread with nut butter or a roti with nut butter is a great option for a child. It has a lot of things to keep them going, and kids need carbs as well, and it'll keep them full. Instead of handing a child or even a normal person a packet of chips, for instance, right? But it works really well if you just write it down and you can discuss it with the family and say, hey, what do you think you want to have for snack on this day? Okay, popcorn. Which flavor? Should we try a tandoori flavor? All you need to do is, if you have tandoori masala at home, mix it into the popcorn. That's it. It's as simple as that, to create variety, to create interest with very few things.
The most important bit that people feel, which is a big thing about, people have learned to segregate carbs, proteins, fat into their meal when they don't understand that A khichdi is a perfect balance of protein and carbs, or a dosa idli is a perfect balance of those. So I think one is to understand what are the kind of meals that both of us are actually cooking right now, which have been easier not only on the effort on our stomachs but also on our hands, because we're doing all the dishes and all of that. So and I think it's great that we have a Punjabi and a Gujarati in the house, because then people will get like a whole fusion of recipes. I think that's incredible. What we've typically been cooking is, and I'm going to share my top five that I've been doing on repeat, and you can perhaps share some of yours as well. So what we've been doing is, been stocking up on dosa idli batter. There was moong dal palak for lunch today. There's chole for dinner. And again, we're doing one sabzi if it's available. If it's not available, then no sabzi for lunch, but it's essentially doing a lot of pulses. Like we said, we create a savory pancake. That is what we've been doing. We're creating a lot of laddus for the children at the moment. So it could be, in the form of good papri, which lasts, which is essentially beet, ghee, and jaggery for the kids. And we add in a little bit of gond in it, so their immunity is supported. We do a lot of salt ka laddu. All of these videos are all there on our YouTube channel, so people can actually see. We're creating a lot of immunity booster drinks, which are essentially avla, gurka pani, pudina, ginger, creating that and stocking on that. So instead of kids reaching out for just about anything, I mean, we don't first of all have any aerated or fizzy drinks in the house at all. But when you have right things, like I think what Simran said earlier, कि जो आगे दिखेगा वही बिकेगा. So might as well keep it very handy, keep it in sight so children will see it and they'll want to have it. So we're doing a lot of that. What we're also doing is we're doing some bit of oats, because oats becomes very, very easy. Whenever you get the chance to have a bread, try and have, add in either the veggies, or sometimes it's just plain toast. But guys, the essential part will be to make sure that we make our kids understand that it's not feast time, that it's to eat right time and not go exotic with the meals that you're cooking, because you'll drive both your family and yourself crazy over it, right, Simran?
I think very true. There are one or two things that I wrote down. One is when you go up on pulses a lot, if you go up on dals a lot, many people are not used to, and the digestive system is not used to consuming so much. You might face a lot of flatulence. You might face bloating. If you do, the best thing to do is that all your pulses, especially your dals, chana chola, anyway we soak overnight, start soaking your dals as well. It reduces the phytic acid. It becomes easier for you to digest. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second is about the proteins and fats. So, for example, on a normal day, if I was doing a khichdi, I have my carbs, I have my proteins, but I would have added a large chunk of vegetables to that for more fiber, which is not there now. So the thing to remember here is that right now this is the better way to eat, but in every meal you must go higher on the protein. If you're a vegetarian, the protein sources already have carbs in them, which means that you need to go back on the carbs a bit. So I would say if you're eating dal and chawal, the dal is more and the chawal is less. Carbs are usually used when you need a lot of energy because they give you more blood sugar in your you have more blood sugar levels, which helps. For example, that's why kids need more. They're running around all the time. Kids don't sit still like us, right? But we are not moving as much now, which means you don't need as much. All right. We are used to eating a lot. That is not ideal, but right now, so I would say protein in every meal is essential. If you're a vegetarian, also you can get that from any dairy source, any dal, any legumes like chana chola, etc. Have that in every meal. That has to be there. Otherwise, if it's just a sabzi and rice, then there should be a curd or something because protein is the building blocks of life. You need to add that in. Coming to kids, I don't have separate menus for my son because I want him to understand that all food is same. You don't get anything separate. You eat what we eat. So he does that as well. I don't give him too many. Like if you have the laddus and all, you can, but you have to limit the quantity. They have to still realize that it's not free for all, like Mansi said. So even for my son, there is a time. So I have mango from over a week, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and it's just ripening, and he wanted to eat it in the morning after his morning snack, and I said no. You can't. Just because you're sitting at home and roam around, just because you feel like eating it, you can't. This goes into snack time. Otherwise, what happens is your child will be, Mama, I want little bit, I want little bit. They'll be eating little, 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 little. And then you're like, oh, you're not eating lunch. You have to make sure that one, their digestive system works like ours. you need to give the child or anybody's body time to digest before you eat again, which is why don't munch through the day. Have actual timings. 8 o'clock is breakfast. I don't know if you want ring a bell and get everyone to come in for breakfast, but you have to have proper timings even for children, right? And then make sure that obviously their snacks are really nutritious. But I think making them understand that this is the time, it's the best time if you're a picky eater because you're limited with food, you can't indulge them. So this is a great time to say, this is all there is to eat right now. This is all that I can cook because I'm cooking for so many people, and that's all there is. You just have to eat it. And you will find
Right.
that children really do well with that.
I think I want to quickly sum up on, home workouts and how people can really get that momentum going. Because, anyways, we're doing a lot of household chores, a lot of physical activity that we're otherwise not very used to doing. So I would say again, let's split this up between a few of the apps that I would recommend, few of the workouts that you would recommend, and let's see how we can try and ensure that people get the most out of it. One of my favorite go-to apps would be the Nike Training Club. It's free, which is great. You have workouts by durations. If you want a 5 minute workout, a 15 minute, a 20 minute, 7 minute, 30 minute, 45 minute, which body part you want to exercise. It kind of, whether you have equipment, you don't have equipment, it kind of gives you a custom workout basis that all you need to do is have willpower and a mat and your body to show up. So that's one of my absolute favorites. If you're looking at another one, it could be the Strava app, which is really good. Another one which works really well is which I've got, which is I used to actually follow their YouTube channel, but now they also have which was Dr. Jose, which is to kind of have this, which is called the HasFit app. Again, they have body weight workouts, so which is very functional in nature, which you could do. You can also do, like, just use home towels. You can do a Pilates workout. You can do a lot of yoga workouts. We share a whole bunch of yoga apps as well. So I think if you really have, if you just have download any of these, it will become supremely helpful. And we have a whole bunch of apps exercises by Yasmin Karachiwala, by Coach Urmi. Some of them which I have done, which is like a gliding disc workout, and so many other experts who've actually shown exercise, which are all available on the Kids Stop Press website and on our YouTube channel. So go ahead and access that, because all of it is free for you right now.
Thank you, Mansi. So I'm not going to recommend any app per se because one, I'm already putting up workouts on my Instagram. I have these programs that you can do, and the thing with the I find that people try to ignore apps. So if it works for you, that is great. If it does not work for you, a lot of people are also in a weight category that you should not do many workouts. There are a lot of restrictions, so that is something to take into consideration. The easiest thing right now, no one has any motivation. You have no willpower. You have enough going on and you are stressed. So I'm going to tell you what to start off with. All you need to do is set a time in the morning and do a 10-minute walk. That's it. 10 minutes, okay? You can do the walk inside the house, around the dining table. You can stand in one place and walk to get in some activity. Then, if you're feeling energized, you can go to my Instagram, pick one of the free workouts. I have built it so that there is no wait for you to get injured. They are very simple, highly effective. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you're advanced, they will work for you because of the intensity and the way it's built. But I think the first key thing is to understand why you need to be active, right? It is not only about losing weight. When you exercise, when you work out, our bodies are meant to move. For example, a cheetah is meant to sprint, a sloth is not, right? We are meant to move. That is why we're built the way we are. And the more you move, the more your blood circulates, your hormones correct themselves. There are a number of things that happen across the body that make you healthier and fitter. All right. This is just activity, which means that you do 30 minutes of anything that you want. If 30 minutes sounds too much, start with 10. On my programs, we are right now doing live workouts where I have to work out live now, and people do it with me. I am doing live walking, which means that I have to do a lot of this as well, but people are doing it with me, and it motivates them to do it. You need to just find something that you're willing to do, and the best is to get your spouse, your child, and you to do it together. Walk around the house. If it has to be 10 minutes jogging up and down the house, jogging in front of the TV, it doesn't matter. But all you need to do is move. And that is what is important. I think if you can get that sorted, you are absolutely fine. Once you build in the routine, you'll get it done.
Yeah, I also think what really works for me, and I agree with Simran that people may be quite demotivated to work out right now. But what typically works with me is one, having a company to work out, and second is if I've decided what the previous night what I'm going to work out tomorrow, right? So if I know my routine the next day, it typically helps me a lot. And like she rightly said, that get your kids involved. So I do a lot of yoga, and typically when we do a lot of inversions in yoga, which may seem very complicated when you go onto our Instagram feed and see like a lot of convoluted poses, but it's very very easy, of course, when if you have been practicing it. But even simple poses which you can do it with your children. If you actually look it up online, you will see that when you invert your body, your blood circulation is faster, and therefore the immunity goes up. And like Simran said, the idea is to keep moving, right? And I think one of the things that we both agree on is to just get the entire house in this together. Talk to your children, make sure they are moving with you, they are helping you in all your household chores. Everybody's under a lockdown, it's not only you. So I think if you ensure that you are very well nourished, very well fueled, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, you're going to really lead the way much better. So I would completely agree with her. And to end this webinar, what we typically do is talk about again things that have helped both of us stay sharp, stay focused on our business, on our families, and ourselves, right, Simran?
That's true. Just one thing, coming back to the inversions, I just want to say that if someone is trying to get pregnant and you don't know if you are pregnant, or if you are pregnant, you probably shouldn't do it. It's a restriction when you are pregnant only. So just be wary of that. Things that I am doing right now is I run the programs where we do. So my programs are built that it should work at any point in any situation in your life. Doesn't matter if you are traveling, living in a hostel, or right now you're stuck at home with no resources. So we have a lot going on there. We have 30-minute home workouts. We're supporting everyone on it with people from across the globe. So now we've released new meal plans and diets that take into account that if you have nothing at home, what do you do? We've already curated meal plans. We've curated recipes, everything that has gone out. So it's taking up a lot of my time and my team's time to do this. But the idea is to make sure that everybody comes together in it, and my personal experience of dealing with it is what is helping everyone else deal with it as well, I think. So that is one. To stay sane, it has to be, I've created a chore chart. I have a daily chore chart where things are allocated. There are responsibilities for my husband, responsibilities for my child, for me, so all the workload is distributed. And we also know what time is what. So my son knows what time he has reading, what time he has writing. So we have a whole schedule for him. And he also knows what time is screen time, which is nearly never. So all that is already, so that is what is keeping, I think, my husband and me sane as well, especially because there's so many of us in the same space at the moment. I think that makes a huge difference. And if you're an entrepreneur, I think just supporting your employees right now is the biggest thing that you can do. We're working on that across the board. First of all, I only hire women returning to the workforce. So even more so I have making sure that I support them. I think that is keeping me more sane and keeping me going, because I know I have to make sure that they are okay as well.
Right, absolutely. What has typically worked for me as well is, and I think we're both the same case. We also have a lot of moms who are back into the workforce, which really helps, especially for Kids Stop Press, because that's what all our website is all about, right? Getting kids moving, getting families together. Screen time is always together. It's never unsupervised, because there are some fabulous shows and workshops and movies that we're watching. So again, we've got a whole bunch of lists on that on the website. Even your DIYs and stuff that the kids want to do, we've segregated that by age onto the platform, so you guys can access that as well. The one thing that we typically start and end our day as a family for us is practicing meditation. Because I think keeping strong mentally is extremely important here. And even if it's just 2 minutes of listening to great meditative music, or talking to your kids about gratitude and telling them that, today I'm thankful for what, is something that's very, very important.
Thank you so much, Mansi, for having me. I hope it was good for you. You can find me on Instagram SIMRUN.Chopra. Always spelled with the U. I'm the only one on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere with the U for some reason. And I think it's very important to remember, stay safe, stay healthy.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, guys, and it's been an absolute pleasure.